So cybersecurity, it's a very investigative career, so you have to be a Sherlock Holmes, like the 999 sort of responders for computers. I'm Tamsin, I'm 20 years old and I'm a cybersecurity apprentice. So I get up in the morning really early, usually about 6.
Good boy, so handsome.
Because I take so long to do my makeup, I'm usually always late for my bus. So the bus ride into work usually takes about 20 minutes, always scraping onto the time when I'm supposed to be in. So the reason I picked an apprenticeship is actually just because I really wanted to go to university. So when I got the offer that I could not only go to university, get a degree, but also work, and it was everything that I really wanted to spend the next 3 years doing. I've always been interested in computer science just because I think computers are really fun and cool, and they've been an integral part of my life since I was about 8 when I got my first laptop. So when I did computer science GCSE, I was honestly really surprised at how easy I found some of the modules and how much I enjoyed doing it. The first thing that I do is go and check what's happened over the last week and what's happened over the night when everyone's been asleep. A lot of the time the hackers are awake, so I look at the threats that have occurred overnight and hopefully nothing has, which means I can get on with my normal day-to-day job. So we can see that the United States is really red, and that's because they've actually submitted the most samples today. You know, most of them have been Trojans, and Trojans are one of the biggest concerns that we have. They can completely devastate a system or a computer. So cybersecurity is the art of protecting things. It's a very investigative career, sometimes even creating threats so you know how to patch against them. I think a lot of people think that cybersecurity and most STEM careers in general are really male dominated, but I think it's really important to look back through history and all of the women at NASA who sent, astronauts to the moon, and me being here is amplifying my voice is what means that nowadays we see a lot more women and a lot more young girls in this industry and in this career. My ultimate goal is to become a Chief Technical Officer. It's one of the highest sort of technical ranks. I think there are a lot of stereotypes about apprenticeships, and a lot of people would probably think that if someone was doing an apprenticeship, they were doing something manual like bricklaying or construction. So it's really interesting and really important to note that we have degree apprenticeships available like the one I'm doing, where I finish with a bachelor's degree of science.
Ready?
Steady.
Go. Here at Lloyds Banking Group, there's no such thing as just an apprentice. I'm in a position to say whether our products are fair, ethical and designed to help Britain prosper.
That moment when you realise you're in a team managing over £150 billion in funds.
It isn't all finance all the time. I led a partnership with Macmillan to help our customers access better cancer care.
Everyone knows you can trust Lloyds. I've seen our bold sustainability commitments, and every day I see us following through.
1 minute I'm leaving uni with my sports science degree. The next I'm in a room thinking of ideas to help millions of families during the pandemic.
I work in financial crime, international sanctions. As you can imagine, it's a pretty interesting place to be right now.
1 minute you're reading about the cost of living crisis, and the next you're writing a briefing paper on it.
Off the back of my dissertation on DevOps pipelines, I went into an engineering role, and now I'm rolling it out company-wide.
We all got a million subscriptions nowadays, so my team built a tool that helps 18 million customers manage them in our app.
When it's not developing with React or Redux, it's gaming with the other grads, or the odd night out.
I couldn't be prouder of my outreach work through Lloyds, helping school-age girls and non-binary people get into coding.
My next step, go for an associate director role, either in my team or something new and exciting. How's that for a rotation?
And welcome to Friday of National Apprenticeship Week. So the end of National Apprenticeship Week is fast approaching, and there's lots of people who've worked so hard this weekend who are looking forward to a well-deserved rest, I think it's fair to say. So I'm Elaine, and my role in Lloyds Banking Group when I'm not live streaming on YouTube is an apprenticeship delivery manager.
And introducing myself, I'm Amy, and my role at Lloyds Banking Group when I'm not hosting Careers Live events is a DevOps engineer. Now, normally every month we have a whole hour-long live stream that explores one particular career in depth. But for our National Apprenticeship Week daily broadcasts, being as it's 2023, we only have 23 minutes to cram in a lot of content.
Well, Amy, when we say National Apprenticeship Week, we definitely mean national, don't we?
We do.
I mean, this thing is huge. It's bigger than Lloyds Banking Group. Every company in England and Wales that has apprentices are celebrating this week. So that's hundreds and thousands of apprentices altogether. So this is what we've squeezed in for you in just 23 minutes. So as we reach the end of one amazing week, we are going to bring you the best of the field reports our apprentices have been sending in as they've been travelling the country this week at various events and school visits. It's fair to say they've been very busy people. And we will be welcoming back Junior Saunders for the very last time with his thoughts too on National Apprenticeship Week.
Now, lots of you are studying for your GCSEs at the moment, and you'll know what subjects you're studying, but maybe not so much about what you can do as a job with the subjects you love. So every day this week, we're talking to some of our apprentices about their favourite subject and school, how it's helped them in their apprenticeship, and explore some of the many different careers you can try out through an apprenticeship.
Now, in an apprenticeship, you learn particular skills to do a particular job. But actually, underneath all of that, every job comprises of 8 essential skills. So all through this week, what we've done is we've looked at those 8 skills and we've heard from apprentices about how important these are in their job. And to wrap things up, we'll hear from Ian about how these skills combine with your GCSEs, A-levels or T-levels to make you an attractive proposition for employers.
And if you feel inspired but you have questions, our colleagues from the Lloyds talent team are on hand in the chat. You can ask them any question that pops in your mind and we'll do our best to answer them.
We've enabled closed captions should you need them, and the chat is open both in Zoom and if you're watching us on YouTube, we're also standing by to answer those questions.
Across National Apprenticeship Week, there are over 350 different events running online and in person around the country, hosted by employers and training providers. Everyone's been encouraged to use the hashtag NAW2023, and it's been such a busy week of activity that we've seen that hashtag trending on LinkedIn and Twitter.
I know, it's been crazy, hasn't it, this week? I think it's fair to say that LinkedIn's on fire this week with that hashtag. Now, it's time for the first of our field reports. National Apprenticeship Week is celebrated here in England and around the country. Lots of companies are also doing presentations in schools around the value of apprenticeships. So lots of our colleagues, including myself, have been out and about at schools and colleges and celebration events to tell the stories. We always say, if you really want to understand what apprenticeships are all about, the best person to tell you is an apprentice. So as this is our final day of the daily download, we're going to pack in as many of those field reports as we can for you all.
What would you say would be the benefits of completing an apprenticeship?
Well, I think there's many benefits, but I think one that stands out for me is the people you meet on the apprenticeship. And you'd be working with people in the same organisation but in different areas. You also be working with people that are from different organisations altogether in different industries, and I think collectively their experience and that comes out and you learn from a lot from other people and the course in itself. And I think that will enable people to professionally develop themselves. There's a lot of personal development as well that you can get out of it. And I think that's one of the key takeaways from me in my journey so far on the degree apprenticeship.
I think for me the main benefit of doing this particular degree apprenticeship has been the hands-on experience of working in high-profile projects, delivering at pace day to day, but also the support from the university and the colleagues, and also the learning path, you know, from a university perspective, understanding what is taught in an academic world and also what you learn in a workplace environment. You know, that's really powerful, having that balance. I think for me the key benefit to this hands-on practical apprenticeship has also been the technologies that I've got to work with. You know, learning the theoretical side and then applying that in a day-to-day environment has been second to none. And personally, I think if I hadn't gone down this pathway, you know, I've been here 6 years now, undergraduate and postgraduate, I think I've had so many opportunities, I've been on so many projects, as I mentioned, and I've worked with some fantastic colleagues, and it's all down to the degree apprenticeship.
Wow, great work by all our apprentice ambassadors, helping students to understand not just apprenticeships, but develop their understanding of how recruitment works and see things from the other side of the table. Now, anyone in school in the Bristol area may have well come across our next guest. Junior Saunders spends his time visiting schools and talking to parents and students about apprenticeships. There are so many different ways to describe apprenticeships, and Junior's role is to help students understand all the different opportunities that could be yours through an apprenticeship. We've been so lucky to have his thoughts this week, and so here for the final time this week with his parting thoughts on National Apprenticeship Week.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've made it to Friday already. I can't believe it. National Apprenticeship Week 2023 with myself, Junior Saunders, and the Lloyds Group. So, myth number 7. The employer will let me go once I finish my apprenticeship. This is highly unlikely. They have spent time, money, resources, energy into you becoming the best version of yourself whilst being an apprentice with them. It's highly unlikely that that employer is going to let you go once your apprenticeship is completed. What they will do is allow you to complete your apprenticeship and then apply for a permanent position within their company to then continue to progress within the world of work. The advantages that you have is the fact that you know the company, you know the people there already. You have a real understanding and your information around that company is vast because you've been there between 4 and 6 years. So it's absolutely amazing. So it's a very, very high chance that the employer won't let you go once you finish your apprenticeship. So it's really, really important to understand, like the Lloyds Banking Group, they will progress you within that role. They will allow you to grow, but more importantly, they will allow you to become the best version of yourself, because it's not about being the perfect student or the perfect apprentice. It's about being the best that you can be so that you really progress in the role that you want to once you finish your apprenticeship. And myth busting number 8, I'll get a better job offers if I go to university. It's absolutely impressive if you go to university and you get a degree and you experience the university buzz and life and you go down the traditional road that many people for many generations have gone down. Absolutely, it's a huge achievement. But what I will say to you is that when you get an apprenticeship, you are actually at the same leverage point as somebody going to university, because you've got the experience, because you know what it's like to be paid from day one of you doing an apprenticeship, because you've already built those professional environments in terms of doing the work, in terms of gauging exactly what needs to be done on that apprenticeship within that organization, working with clients, working as a part of a team, transferable skills. So you absolutely will have the same, if not better job offers, because you've been in the world of work. So I really, really want to say to you that an apprenticeship is a great way for you to change that journey to the same destination, become more confident and competent in who you are. The experience of an apprenticeship is absolutely amazing. The person that you was to the person that you are to the person you become is a lifelong skill. Any single role you go on to, you want to be better at what you do. An apprenticeship really, really harnesses that. And I, for one, know that the Lloyds Group are really about personal as well as professional development within apprenticeship roles and beyond. So it's all about you identifying, lastly, on the National Apprenticeship Week videos that I've been doing all this week, and it's been great, by the way, identifying how do you want to learn? Do you want to be in an environment where you thrive? Do you want to be in an environment where you're shown what to do? Because if that's the case, 80% of the time, you will be doing that. Or do you want an environment of which you're being paid from day one to really thrive, and you can have that money to do whatever you want? Remember, you don't need to go to university in order to get that validation. You can have that validation from day one of you becoming the best version of yourself. I've been Junior Saunders. Hopefully you've enjoyed the videos that I've sent you this week. It's been absolutely amazing. A huge thank you to the Lloyds Group for inviting me on this week for National Apprenticeship Week 2023 to speak about the myth busting all around apprenticeships throughout the UK. Whatever you decide to do, make sure that you check out the local opportunities available to you via the Lloyds Group. There's some fantastic opportunities from customer service all the way up to finance, and there are great ways in that you can actually progress on an apprenticeship if it's something that you want to do. Thank you very much for your time.
So for those of you that are at school, you've probably got subjects that you really love, and then you've probably got subjects that you're not actually that keen on. And you might be wondering, what can I actually do with these subjects anyway? Well, of course, when it comes to careers, there's always more than one way, as many of us that work for Lloyds Banking Group know so well. But we asked our apprentices what their favourite subjects were at school, and we also asked our friends at Amazing Apprenticeships to tell us a little bit about the different kinds of jobs you might be able to try out if you like a particular subject. So here's our colleague Mark, and he's going to tell us all about his favourite subject, which was geography, and also the difference that a teacher can make. But before we look at that, there's a short film from Amazing Apprenticeships that we want to share with you on all the things that you can do if you like studying geography.
Hi, my name's Mark Bryant. I think my favourite subject in school was geography. And I think it's more to do with the actual teacher that used to spend a little bit more time just giving me a little bit of guidance on what I was actually doing in there. I had a big interest. I used to like all the elements of like the maps and things and all looking at all that kind of information that goes with it. I think it's more the fact that, you be curious, look at what you can actually physically achieve if you can actually set your mind to it and look into things a little bit more, take a bit of time to understand what it is that you're doing. I think if I was going to give some advice to my younger self, and that would be just to give things a go, give it a try, and see what comes out, because I've certainly learned a lot about myself, by doing that kind of process. But yeah, it was an interesting time. So yeah, thanks very much.
That's great to hear Mark's perspective and the difference an individual teacher can make. Throughout this week, our colleague Missy Ann has been telling you about the Skills Builder Essential Skills. And as a reminder, these are speaking and listening, which help our communication, creativity, problem solving, which help us deal with uncertainty, staying positive and aiming high, which help us deal with setbacks and the unexpected, and teamwork and leadership, which help us work well with others.
So I'm here at the Babington Celebration event in National Apprenticeship Week, and I'm joined by Mary, who's here to celebrate her amazing achievement of completing her Level 3 Senior Financial Services Customer Advisor Apprenticeship with Babington. So Mary, what would you say are a couple of the key things that you've learned from your apprenticeship?
One of the key things would be resilience, because I went through a lot during the process of the apprenticeship, but the coaches were there to help me as well. They understood my mental state of mind. It was a lot of work to do, but putting the time in, putting the effort in, means that me being an engineering background, I've got some financial background now, so I could progress, broaden my skill set, and I could go for job roles with I've got the experience, I've got the training, I've got the background. It just works out, it works out the best for you to have that kind of training.
Brilliant. Thanks, Mary. If you're curious to know more, then use your favourite search engine and type in Skills Builder Home Zone. And what you'll find is a quiz that will help you score yourself right now on all 8 of those skills that you've heard about. You can also get customised support and guidance to develop these new skills. Whatever age you are, you can always be developing the Skills Builder skills.
And those essential skills also come in really handy when it's time to apply for jobs or go off to job interviews. They'll help you identify those key experiences and key moments that you can take into an interview or a university application to get the job or course you want.
Now, this time, Amy, the clock really is counting down and we've reached the end of our journey. It's really been quite a week, hasn't it?
It sure has. We've been all over the country to so many schools and colleges, helping everyone understand the wonderful world of apprenticeships. Our thanks to everyone who has made a contribution this week for the daily download. Don't forget though, Lloyds Careers Live is coming up on the first Tuesday of March and it's focusing on careers in software development. There is so much to developing solutions in technology than just coding, and there's so much more to these jobs than sitting in front of a screen. Even if you've not coded before, this can be a really great and rewarding career. So the link to that event is in the chat now. Click on it, register, and we will see you next month.
Well, before we go, we just want to pay tribute to all the people that have worked behind the scenes to produce daily downloads for this week. Our colleagues at Experience Events, Skills Builder, the Western Training Provider Network, and so many others who've actually made this week possible. And as much as National Apprenticeship Week is a celebration of apprentices, it's also a recognition of the thousands of people, whether they are employers, talent coaches, careers advisors, teachers, curriculum designers, tutors, training providers, endpoint assessors as well, without whom we wouldn't have here in Britain the very best apprenticeship system in the world. So thank you to all of you. Have a great weekend of rest. From all of us at Lloyds Banking Group, we wish you every success.
What does success mean to us?
Success is making a difference.
For our customers and our communities.
Success is empowering people from the start.
Building their confidence.
Giving them tools to start their careers.
Success is putting our people first.
It's knowing when to listen.
And making the time to talk.
Success is supporting causes we care about.
It's getting involved.
All hands on deck.
Success is making banking better.
It's engineering a fairer future.
Making progress and leaving no one behind.
Whatever shape it takes.
Success starts with us.